salutations to you. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join me for another short word of encouragement presented by Care of the Temple Ministries. My name is Reverend Ellihue Henderson Jr., and I'm so glad that you joined me today. Our subject today is In the Beginning, God. Our thematic text for the day is taken from Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, which states, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." What you believe about that verse, that first verse in the Bible that sets the precedence for everything that takes place in the Bible after that, governs all that you do, whether you realize it or not. Because see, if you believe that in the beginning, God, now I need to clarify something. When it says in the beginning, God, it's not speaking of God's beginning. It's speaking of our beginning. Because there was never a point in time, there was never a point when God did not exist. Before there was God. God stepped out on the vast of nothingness and spoke the world into existence. And for those who believe in a Big Bang Theory, when God, my God, who is so powerful, spoke the world into existence, of course there was a Big Bang. There was a Big Bang because he is powerful. And when he set the stars in the celestial bourgeois, when he set the earth in its rotation, when he set the sun in the heavens, there was a Big Bang because he's so powerful and he's awesome. But in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth also determines what we believe about everything that we do. You see, if we believe that in the beginning God, then we understand and we realize that nothing we have is really ours. That everything belongs to God because God is the owner, God is the creator. Psalm 24:1 tells us, "The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein." There is nothing outside of the scope that does not belong to God. The earth is the Lord's. Everything in the earth and the world and everybody that's in it belongs to God. Therefore, if everything belongs to God, then we're just stewards. But now, listen, not only are we just stewards, but we're actually here on borrowed time. You don't believe that? Turn to Hebrews 9:27 in the King James Version. It says, "It is appointed to man once to die and then the judgment." We're only here for an appointed time. God created us. God allowed us to be here for a specific reason, for a specific time. And one day, he's going to ask us to give an account for what we did with our time, talents, and our treasures for the glory of his kingdom. One day, in eternity, we're going to stand before the judgment seat of Christ. That's that judgment where God, Jesus Christ, will judge us for what we've done in our bodies. 2 Corinthians 5:10 puts it this way, "For we must all appear," meaning nobody's going to escape it. Those in Christ anyway will be before the judgment seat of Christ. There's another judgment seat where some other folks will be at, but those in Christ will be at the judgment seat of Christ. That everyone may receive the things done in the body according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. One day, each and every one of us in Christ will have to stand before the judgment seat of Christ and say, what kind of steward were you? What kind of steward were you with your time? What kind of steward were you with the treasure? What kind of steward were you with the things that I blessed you with the families that I blessed you with the treasures, your vehicles? Whatever you have is a gift from God. And one day, the very God that said, the very God that allowed you to exist is going to ask you to give an account for how you used your time. Did you serve? Did you worship him? One day, on that great day, that inescapable day, he's going to ask us to give an account. Therefore, always keep in the forefront of your mind, in the beginning, God is the creator. In the beginning, God. It all belongs to God. In the beginning, God. He is the owner and creator of everything. In the beginning, God. God. And if you can remember that in the beginning, God, if you can remember that you're just here for an appointed time, it should govern all and every decision that you make. And therefore, if you see your life from that perspective, when you stand before the judgment seat, it is my hope and my prayer that God will say, well done, my good and faithful servant. It is my hope and my prayer that you will be able to say, like Paul said in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verses 7 through 8, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Finally, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give to me on that day. Not only to me, but also to those who love his appearing. My friend, my hope and my prayer is that will be your response when you stand before the very God that in the beginning created the heaven